We are back with an important message for your health. 20 years ago, we lost NBC News journalist David Bloom, a beloved colleague and friend here at Today. In 2003, David was embedded with American troops in Iraq, passing away from a pulmonary embolism at just 39 years old. Since then, his widow, Melanie Bloom, has made it her mission to raise awareness about blood clots, which affect nearly 1 million Americans every year. Melanie is here, along with Dr. Geoff Barnes, a cardiologist with the International Society of Thrombosis and Hematosis, which marked World Thrombosis Day earlier this month. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning. Thanks for having us out.
Melanie, it's hard to believe it's been 20 years. David was with the troops traveling in the legendary Bloom Mobile, but it was about tight quarters and remaining in one position for long periods of time. What do you remember about then and the last time you spoke with him?
Right. I spoke to him about 2 nights before he passed, and he was mentioning some leg cramps. But of course, he's in the midst of a war, and there was, so much going on, and we didn't make much of that. It was just sort of a passing comment. But only 2 days after mentioning the leg cramps, he was gone. And so I learned after the fact how very, very important those leg cramps actually were. It was a warning flag that both of us were fully unaware of.
And it turns out, Melanie, that David has a genetic condition that made him more susceptible to blood clots. It turns out your daughters actually have that same genetic condition. So what do you do with that information?
That's right. And we were unaware of that, fully unaware. Actually, it was the autopsy that revealed he had factor V Leiden, which is a clotting disorder that it's genetic. He had inherited it. And so we realized that was sort of the tipping point. He had other risk factors, the long haul flights, the restricted mobility in the tank, and then dehydration from lack of water. But then to find out he also had a clotting disorder, that was sort of the perfect storm that brought about his death at age 39, young, fit, and healthy. Finding out that our daughters also inherited that same clotting disorder at first was distressing, but it turned into sort of a gratitude because knowledge is power. Yeah. And knowing that, we know how they can live their lives and stay safe.
Well, Dr. Barnes, let's turn to you for a moment here. This genetic condition, how common is it, first of all? And secondly, what are some of the risk factors?
Yeah, so this condition can be very common. In fact, if you have Western European ancestors, it could be 1 in 20 people who actually have this condition. But it's really all of the things that come together. And I think Melanie really described that well. It's things like being dehydrated, having restricted movement, whether it's being confined to a car or a plane or maybe being in a hospital. We know many of these happen after a hospital stay. And then you add this condition on top of it. So really important to know your family history and know if anyone in the family has had a blood clot.
In fact, doctor, talk about the signs of a clot, both when you're talking about deep vein thrombosis in your legs or pulmonary embolisms, which I had when I had my medical emergency late last year. What are some of the signs that you
my patients at U of M always ask me about this, and I tell them, look for the swelling in the leg or that cramping that you get, especially if it's one leg more than the other. That could be the blood clot starting in your leg. If it breaks free and goes up to the lung, it's usually a relatively sudden onset shortness of breath or some chest discomfort that you might feel.
Which is what I had too.
Exactly.
And that's what triggered the emergency.
Yeah.
And what do you do once you feel those things?
Well, when something like that comes on pretty quickly, you want to get a hold of your doctor right away. So if it's a problem with the leg, that cramping, the swelling that we talked about, give your doctor's office a call, get evaluated. If it's the shortness of breath, the chest pain, and again, it's really sudden onset, you probably need to go to the emergency room for a really quick evaluation.
And Al, Melanie, worked here when David Bloom was here, so you know him. But for folks who, you just tell us about some of the memory you have from him and why it was so important to take up this cause in his memory.
Right, and I'm so thrilled that 20 years later, after he's passed, that people remember him and that he left sort of a legacy of his work behind, the Bloom Mobile. And he had just such an exuberance and a passion for life and loved working here and really spent his life being a journalist, informing people about what is important. So taking up this mantle and trying to talk about what took his life is very important. And I've actually received letters that David's story has saved their life. So I can't think of any better way to honor his memory than that.
Absolutely.
Melanie, really quickly, the 3 girls, how are they?
They're great. Thanks for asking. Yep, the twins were 9 and Ava was 3 when we lost David. and we were blessed to, here they are. And I'm now remarried, Dan McNulty, and he was also widowed and has 2 children. So we combined us all together, Brady Bunch. And so we feel like that's another message I fold into, a message of hope for those who have gone through this and lost loved ones.
Besides his work and his journalistic legacy, his smile is what I always remember. Thank you. Melanie, Dr. Bloom, Dr. Barnes, thank you so much.
Thank
Great
you.
to see
Thank you.
Melanie also wrote about her mission, about David and her mission. You can read her essay on today.com. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific on our streaming channel, Today All Day. To watch, head to today.com/allday or click the link right here.